the annals of true crime, there exists a case that remains etched in infamy. A case that sent shockwaves through the global media, capturing the darkest depths of human depravity. This is the chilling story of Luka Magnotta, a name synonymous with notoriety and malevolence. Intriguing, enigmatic, and ultimately monstrous, Luka Magnotta's descent into the abyss of criminality is a tale that transcends the boundaries of the macabre. This is a story that unfolded in the darkest corners of the internet, where obsession, narcissism, and the insatiable desire for attention collided with gruesome and unimaginable acts. We are peeling back the layers of a case that gripped the world's attention, raising disturbing questions about humanity, social media, and the very nature of evil. The Luka Magnotta case is a stark reminder that the human capacity for malevolence knows no bounds, and its impact continues to resonate as a stark warning in our digital age. Luka Magnotta case is as intriguing as it is unsettling, marked by a complex and disturbing series of events that eventually led to a gruesome murder. Luka Rocco Magnotta was born Eric Clinton Kirk Newman on July 24, 1982, in Scarborough, Ontario, Canada. Early on, he displayed signs of psychological disturbance and a propensity for criminal behavior that would later culminate in one of the most notorious cases in the annals of true crime. From a young age, Magnotta exhibited a troubling pattern of behavior. He was reportedly diagnosed with borderline personality disorder and narcissistic personality disorder, conditions that would later play a significant role in the unfolding of his criminal activities. His early life was marked by run-ins with the law, including charges of theft, fraud, and animal cruelty. The latter would foreshadow a more disturbing aspect of his character. As he entered adulthood, Magnotta's online presence became a central focus of his life. He craved attention and notoriety, and he found a platform for his desires in the burgeoning world of social media. He maintained various online personas, often portraying himself as a model, actor, and exotic dancer. His obsession with cultivating an image of himself as a glamorous and desirable figure would later drive his actions to the darkest of extremes. In 2010, Luka Magnotta's name first entered the public consciousness when he gained attention for posting disturbing videos on the internet. These videos depicted the cruel and sadistic treatment of cats and, in some instances, hinted at the horrors that would later emerge in the murder of a human victim. Animal rights activists and concerned citizens were appalled by the brutality displayed in these videos, leading to efforts to identify and locate the person responsible for these heinous acts. The victim, Lin Jun, a 33-year-old Chinese international student, had been studying computer science at Montreal's Concordia University. He was described by friends and family as a diligent and kind-hearted young man, known for his amiable personality and strong work ethic. Lin Jun had emigrated from China to Canada, seeking a better future and educational opportunities. He was well liked by those who knew him, and his life was marked by aspirations for success and happiness. Coming from China to Canada, Lin Jun represented the countless international students who seek to expand their horizons and build a promising future through education. The story of Lin Jun's murder is inexorably linked to the disturbing online presence of Luka Magnotta. As mentioned in the background of the case, Magnotta, born Eric Clinton Kirk Newman, had a history of criminal behavior. In the months leading up to the murder of Lin Jun, disturbing signs emerged that hinted at the heinous act to come. As I said, Magnotta was posting very cruel and sadistic videos online. One of the videos showed Magnotta suffocating 2 kittens with a vacuum cleaner, and another displayed a kitten being fed to a large Burmese python. The horrifying series of events that led to Lin Jun's murder began on May 24, 2012, when Magnotta lured the unsuspecting student to his apartment in Montreal. Magnotta, who had been using various pseudonyms online, including the name Lunatic, had created a profile on a popular website specializing in gore and horror content. It was on this website that Magnotta first established contact with Lin Jun. The details of their initial interaction remain largely unknown, but Magnotta had a sinister plan in motion. On the evening of May 24th, Lin Jun arrived at Magnotta's apartment, likely unaware of the imminent danger he was facing. The specifics of what transpired inside the apartment remain shrouded in horror and darkness. The murder itself was captured on video, a disturbing record of the unimaginable violence and cruelty Lin Jun endured at the hands of his assailant. Lin Jun's life was brutally taken from him, and his body was subjected to a gruesome dismemberment. Magnotta meticulously divided Lin Jun's remains, scattering them in various locations throughout Montreal. His actions exhibited a level of depravity that defies comprehension. The initial investigation into the murder of Lin Jun was a crucial phase in unraveling the complex and gruesome crime committed by Luka Magnotta. This phase began shortly after the discovery of Lin Jun's dismembered remains in late May 2012, and was marked by diligent efforts to gather evidence and understand the circumstances surrounding the murder. The investigation began when Lin Jun's dismembered body parts were discovered in various locations in Montreal, Canada. This horrifying discovery sent shockwaves through the community and immediately raised alarms. Law enforcement officials were confronted with the macabre task of piecing together the remains and attempting to identify the victim. It was a challenging and painstaking process to identify the victim, given the state of the remains. Investigators relied on forensic analysis, DNA testing, and meticulous work to confirm that the dismembered body parts belonged to Lin Jun. The victim's identity was a crucial breakthrough, as it provided a foundation for understanding the events leading up to the murder. Early in the investigation, evidence began to point towards Luka Magnotta as the prime suspect. It became evident that Magnotta had lured Lin Jun to his apartment, and their interactions were central to the case. The online activities of both individuals added to the suspicion, and Magnotta's notoriety for posting disturbing videos of animal cruelty online only intensified the scrutiny on him. The investigation involved the collection and analysis of a wide range of evidence. This included examining the crime scene for physical evidence, such as bloodstains and fingerprints, as well as reviewing security camera footage from the area around Magnotta's apartment and other relevant locations. Investigators also delved into Magnotta's online presence, seeking to establish connections between the suspect and the victim. As suspicions mounted that Magnotta might attempt to flee the country, Canadian authorities began to coordinate with international law enforcement agencies. The goal was to ensure that, if Magnotta did indeed leave Canada, he would not escape justice. This led to the issuance of an Interpol Red Notice, alerting authorities worldwide to his status as a fugitive. Following the discovery of the murder of Lin Jun and the identification of Luka Magnotta as the prime suspect, Canadian authorities, in this case, the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, RCMP, submitted a formal request to Interpol for the issuance of a Red Notice. The request outlined Magnotta's status as a wanted criminal and his suspected involvement in the murder. The Red Notice included detailed information about Luka Magnotta, including his name, photographs, and information about the alleged crime, which was the murder of Lin Jun. This information was crucial in alerting law enforcement agencies worldwide about Magnotta's status as a fugitive and the gravity of the charges against him. With the issuance of the Red Notice, law enforcement agencies in Interpol's member countries were put on high alert. This meant that Magnotta's name and details were now accessible to police forces and border control agencies around the world. Any interaction with law enforcement, such as routine identification checks or border crossings, could lead to his detention. After all the investigation, Luka Magnotta was finally captured in Berlin, Germany. The public played a significant role in the capture of Luka Magnotta by providing a crucial tip to law enforcement authorities. The case of Luka Magnotta and the murder of Lin Jun had received extensive media coverage both nationally and internationally. The gruesome details of the crime, along with Magnotta's notoriety for posting disturbing videos online, had garnered widespread attention. As a result, many individuals were aware of the case and had seen photographs of the suspect. A member of the public, who had been following the media coverage of the case, spotted Luka Magnotta in a Berlin neighborhood. This vigilant citizen recognized Magnotta from the photographs and descriptions circulated in the media. This person's immediate action in reporting the sighting to the authorities was a critical turning point in the manhunt. German law enforcement authorities acted swiftly upon receiving the tip. They located the internet cafe in the Neukölln district, where Magnotta was reportedly using a computer. The trial of Luka Magnotta, following his capture in Berlin, Germany, was a highly publicized legal proceeding that took place in Montreal, Canada. It aimed to hold Magnotta accountable for the gruesome murder of Jun Lin and the subsequent acts that had horrified the world. The trial featured key evidence and witness testimonies that played a critical role in establishing the case against Magnotta. One of the most chilling pieces of evidence was the video footage of the murder itself. Magnotta had filmed the murder of Jun Lin and posted it online. While the video was not shown in its entirety during the trial due to its disturbing nature, segments of it were presented as evidence. This visual record of the crime left a lasting impact on those involved in the trial and those in the courtroom. The video, often referred to as the One Lunatic One Ice Pick video, was not shown in its entirety during the trial due to its extremely graphic and horrifying nature. However, segments of the video were presented as evidence to establish the heinous nature of the crime and Magnotta's direct involvement. The most shocking and distressing part of the video was the actual murder of Jun Lin. It depicted Magnotta attacking Jun Lin, who was bound to a bed. Magnotta could be seen assaulting Jun Lin with an ice pick, resulting in the victim's death. This act of extreme violence was a critical element in establishing Magnotta's guilt in the murder. There was also physical evidence to the case. The physical evidence in the Luka Magnotta case consisted of various items and materials found at the crime scenes and in Magnotta's possession, as well as forensic analysis of these materials. This evidence played a crucial role. One of the most significant types of physical evidence was the presence of bloodstains at the crime scene, including Magnotta's apartment. Forensic teams collected samples to establish the presence of both Jun's and Luka Magnotta's genetic material. Evidence related to the transportation of Jun's body parts included the suitcase in which some of the remains were placed and other materials used for concealment and disposal. These materials were important in tracing the movements of the suspect after the murder. While not directly linked to the murder, the videos that Luka Magnotta had posted online, depicting the sadistic treatment of animals, were part of the physical evidence. These videos played a role in establishing a pattern of behavior and a connection between Magnotta and the acts of violence. The Luka Magnotta case had a profound impact on Canadian society and its legal system. The brutality and depravity of the murder, along with the subsequent acts, shocked and horrified the Canadian public. The case left a deep and lasting impact on society, and it sparked outrage and a collective sense of disbelief. The defense in the case argued that Luka Magnotta was not criminally responsible due to a mental disorder. This aspect of the trial brought attention to the issue of mental health within the legal system and the assessment of an individual's legal responsibility for their actions. The trial had a significant psychological impact on the jurors who were exposed to graphic and disturbing evidence. It led to discussions about the well-being and support for jurors in such high-profile and emotionally challenging cases. The case of Luka Magnotta remains one of the most chilling and notorious criminal investigations in recent history. The horrifying murder of Jun Lin and the subsequent actions of the perpetrator shook not only the Canadian society, but the world at large. The case raised critical questions about the boundaries of online content, mental health within the legal system, and the role of the media in covering such disturbing events. The public outrage and shock that surrounded this case served as a stark reminder of the capacity for human brutality. It also underscored the collective demand for justice and accountability when confronted with such acts of extreme violence. The impact of the Luka Magnotta case was profound and far-reaching, leaving a lasting impression on Canadian society and its legal system. The case serves as a haunting reminder of the consequences of unchecked violence and the need for a just and resilient legal system.